In this video we're going to look at Joong Gun Tul, 32 movements, blue belt pattern. Within this pattern there are lots of new movements that we need to understand and be able to develop and practice and get better at before we can complete the pattern as best as we possibly can. The first thing we need to look at is the ready stance, and we're looking at Moa Chumbi Sogi B, so closed ready stance B. So with the closed ready stance A, where we have the hands up at the philtrum, our fingers off the outside knuckles, thumb onto the thumb knuckle. Rather than being at the philtrum height, we're at belt height, 15 centimeters away from that belt. We have the first three moves, which are quite complex and new as well. So the first move is going to be in an L stance, and it's going to be a reverse knife hand block. So we need to be creating a reverse knife hand, so the thumb is pulled across. We have tension down the side of the hand because that's where we're going to be blocking with. So we don't want to have our thumb exposed. When we deliver it the same as an Ahn Joong-Gun, so it's coming from above the shoulder, the hands on the outside, and rotating through and out into the move. We do a side front kick from there, and it is low side front kick. But after that we come into a Dwip Bao Sogi, where we have a palm upward block. This is massively complex. So let's go through those three movements and talk our way through each part of it. So from here we're going to now transfer my weight onto the back leg, and we're going to kick low with our front kick. But we need to rotate the front leg to create power into it. From here we place. My hand comes round in the capital D movement. As it comes round, we come from shoulder height to belt height, and then we drop into our stance. So with a Dwip Bao Sogi, we make sure the foot's at 25 degrees. So the ball of my foot's in the middle of my rear foot, the heels are basically in line. So now that gives that 25 degrees. With the palm upward block, this is also on that 25 degrees angle, along with the height being a solar plexus height. We repeat this on the other side, but we need to rotate the foot and make sure the foot is rotating as we come neutral chamber, up, and then through into our reverse knife hand block. Again we repeat. So, front side kick, place the hand, rotate around, capital D, and drop and in. Practice that a few times and get used to that complex. From there we then go into a knife hand guarding block and into our upward elbow strike. We need to be able to look to move our feet the same as we did within One Yo Tul. Because we go from an L stance into a walking stance, we need to rotate the feet into a forward-facing position before going forwards to create that power. So from this movement here, we rotate the foot on the floor and in. Now if we look at the foot positions as I come, I rotate back. So my heel is almost in line with my toes, but my feet are straight on. From here I'm ready to go. My palm is facing this way. As I come through, the palm rotates, so the palm faces downwards or the knuckles are facing upwards. My body is full facing on. And then we just repeat that to the other side, going the other way. We then come into Sang Siwo and Sang Dweejibo Jirugi, so twin upset punch and twin vertical punch. So from this position we come through into the next complex to here. Now we come to Sang Siwo Jirugi. So as you see from here, we need to come forward into neutral position. My hands then rotate down, round, up, and then through. The tilt is 45 degrees on the hands, and my knuckles coming up into the cheekbone area. As I come forward, I relax again to this position, into a neutral position. Then I rotate backwards, downwards, and then slightly upwards. This is in line with my shoulders, okay, because this is going to be doing two different people. So if we're straight down here and it's horizontal to the floor, I'm not hitting with my abjimux. So I'm looking to be around about 10 degrees upwards. We then do a Gujar Dolgi, and we then go into an X fist rising block. So it is Koichijamuk Chukyo Maki. So let's go from this way here so you can see the rotation. So I place my foot onto the midline in line with my where my heel was. I now rotate around fully. Now notice again, my pelvis is 45 degrees, my heel in line with my toes here, and from this position, from the lower rib area, just slightly out from the body, and then raise upwards so that my X-fist here is in line with my forehead. The leg that is forwards, then the hand will be on the outside. One reason we do this also is because, for the fact that it's correct, so if we have it down here, it is my front leg downwards. If I'm here with my checking block, it is in the same place, my front leg is down, upwards it is also here. But it allows us to go into our next move as well, which is going to be a side back fist strike. So from this position here, I'm pulling in, I rotate my hands and deliver my Yeok-Dong Jimuk. I then go to my release technique. So as you see from there, because we've gone from this position here, I'm just rotating, I don't have to move my arms. So you know you're in the right position. The release now. The release is somebody who's grabbed your arm. So you've struck them to temple height, but they've grabbed your arm. We now need to release that. We're going to go from an L stance into a walking stance. Now, where this differs is we don't pull the foot in. We're using the body weight to push across and sideways on it, so that we can create that release so our body weight to go forward, to go through. But what we do need to do is, with our L stance, it needs to go wider and longer, okay? Because our walk stance is longer than our L stance. So from this position here, as we go, we just push and down. So now I've gone half a foot longer and I've gone wider. As I said, it's going to be fast motion this. So what we need to do is we need to do a high punch on the back end of this. We need to put a sine wave in that, but it is in fast motion. So one more time from the side here to give you a better look at it. Release, punch. So look at the bottom leg again. If I repeat this, once I've pushed across and outwards and through, now I have a bounce on the back leg, which is that sine wave before going into my punch. We'll repeat that the other side. Coming from the other side, we now have Dupalma Maki, which is also a new technique. Dupalma Maki, double forearm block. The hands come from a neutral position. We push them back above the shoulder again, but slightly more horizontally. As we bring them in, we rotate through. My knuckle on my rear hand, on my little finger, is behind the elbow joint to make me in a half-facing position. My knuckles on my blocking hand are going to be at eye height. So it's very similar to Ahn Joong-Gun here, but we're using both hands coming in and rotating through. As we work through, we then get through to the end of the pattern, towards the end of the pattern, and we go from a guarding block into Nolyo Maki. Nolyo Maki is pressing block. So from a guarding block, what happens again, I'm going from L stance to a walking stance. So I must again rotate my feet into that position. So 45 degrees with my pelvis, my heel almost in line with the toes on the other foot, and I've set the arms already. Now with Nolyo Maki, we've got one hand coming down, one hand coming up. They cross the midway point. So from my guard block to here. Notice this is at my shoulder height, this is my belt height for my lower hand. As I go out slow motion, I start to slip. As I get to the midpoint, my hands are here. Then when I can't hold any longer, I then slip into my stance. My up hand here, my up hand. This is going to be on my shoulder line. So in the middle of my shoulder is the middle of my hand. My lower hand here, which is protected against a 45-degree kick, is on my chest line. 15 degrees bend in the elbow joint and a slight rotation of the arm coming up, so my little finger is a little bit higher. We do not have any rotation or any movement within the wrist joint. It is just from this position, slight bend, slight rotation. So kick from 45 degrees, this one is a punch from 45 degrees to there. So simultaneously coming through. Two more moves we need to go through. Goicha Jimuk, which is angle punch. So angle punch is done also in slow motion, and what we're looking to do is to bring it across so that we are one fist below our shoulder height. Our fist is on our chest line here. Now what we also need to look at is this being at 90 degrees, and this is really what we're looking at. So from the shoulder to the elbow across being 90 degrees, and this will end up on our chest line here. Juguchimaki is next, so grasping block. So delivering the grasping block, both hands are in this position at my solar plexus height. The top hand is going to be facing upwards palm-wise, and my bottom hand is going to be facing downwards. At this point, I rotate them coming through and in. My top hand now is in line with my forehead. I then have my bande au sol here and here, both in line. So my bottom hand is slightly rotated across so that we are grasping a pole that is coming into us. This would be to grab the pole and then pull it in this position. Okay? So a bit of a referral back to sort of ancient times. My elbow is also from here, is tucked into my pelvis area here and blocked onto it. This is done in a fixed stance, not an L stance. So again, there's a slight lean forward in it so that my hands can get in line with my foot and my toes. Okay, let's go through the whole pattern. Look at the nuances of the movement of the feet as well as all the arm parts and the kicking aspects to this. Notice when we go into our stance, when we're doing an angle punch, that the feet, the breath, the hands, they all end at the same time. With that rotation from here, rotate the foot on the floor, then pull everything up. So that's an important aspect to get balance and get it all with the timing correct. Okay, hope you enjoy it. Thank you.